and he's been escalating his threats. So first he was just like tapping on me, and then he went to the door. Now he's doing like the swipe.
Welcome in, everybody. I've got Moshcraft with me in another Star Trek content creator interview. I've got some amazing pre-roll to share, and let's get into it.
Every week they debate people into doing arenas. We've improved the matchmaking. Trust us. We promise. It's not a trap. These poor souls queue for arena with their friends. Like, all right, guys. This week with the tighter bracket range and the extended testing in the EU, along with performance improvements.
So helpful.
This is our shot. That's our opportunity.
Excuse me.
Really? You couldn't like go from the other side? I'm gonna dig a grave for him someday.
Still waiting for that DLC content.
He's looking up in the other section. Will he find what he's looking for? There's so many things in here. In his heart, he knows that he'll never find. Is it under materials? Is it where is it? Good thing we learned about the frog pox of Hamburg, where the frogs keep exploding. Who's your good pebbles? You're good pebbles. Yeah. A whole ass beast. That's such a fun game.
Yeah. It was fun watching you play it.
I was wondering what would happen there. I'll take like literally existing over dynamic. I'm not asking Hans Zimmer to score this video game. I just want it to go beep boop when I attack something and when I get attacked. The STFC has a QA department. Like do people think that like the reason this game is buggy is because nobody thought about having a QA department? Maybe if I just say the letters Q and A and the word department in sequence, somebody at Scopely will be like, oh, that's what we needed, a QA department. And once you have a QA department, then your shit will just run and nothing will be janky. And all of the stuff that you architected in an asinine way will refactor itself because you have a QA department. It's searching for intelligent thought in the Scopely-verse, trying to find logic in disorder. Do you think the blog post would actually clear anything up, though? It would just be like, this unprecedented opportunity for another strategic way to convert your materials based on popular demand. Players can now choose to convert some resources into other resources and get huge rewards. Good luck in the galaxy, space cadets. Am I doing a good Beck impression yet?
It was a good Beck impression.
Because the purpose of camping is for leaderboards. And then in between camping and rushing is like moderate play. Like go up when you can and when... That's how most people should play.
Yeah, it's a sound advice there, Moshcraft. So excited to have you here today with me. And what did you think of your pre-roll?
That was great. If only all my streams were like that action-packed.
Oh, they're so action-packed. You're the most clippable streamer that I've ever watched. So yeah, you're fantastic.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
We've got Derp in the background as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Derp?
Yeah, he's the most photogenic cat in the universe, as you can see. I've had him for 14 years now. We adopted him from Hands Helping Paws. I guess he was like abandoned or he lost his mom or something. And the reason we got him is because like when we went up to his cage, he was just like, meow, but very quietly. And I was like, oh, it's a quiet kitty. Like gently asked. I found out later that he was sedated, so he had a lot more energy then. Yeah.
Oh, that's
but
fantastic.
his name was supposed to be Tigger, but the first day we had him, he just walked backwards off the kitchen counter, so he just became Derp.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
That's his origin story.
He's lived well. He looks really good for his age.
Yeah, he's got a youthful exuberance.
All right, let's get into some of the interview questions, Mosh. So, what's your favorite Star Trek show?
The Next Generation, for sure. Just because, the first Star Trek I was actually exposed to was the 2009 movie. That's actually where I started with Star Trek. Wow. I was always like told I would probably like Star Trek just because I'm the guy when we're watching movies who just keeps pointing out like, that's not logical, that doesn't make sense. I watched the Kelvin movies and it was interesting enough that eventually I watched the original series and then I watched The Next Generation. And while Spock's my favorite character, TNG is probably my favorite show. I think it's just got that original like Gene Roddenberry theme and vibe, but then kind of better acted and less cringe, relatively speaking.
No, for sure. I love the cringe of the original series though. Like there's just something about Kirk and something about just the jankiness of it all. I don't know. Maybe it's why I
Yeah.
play this game as well. So
There's
your
a
favorite
charm
character,
to
Spock. What about your favorite captain? Who do you vibe with the most?
I'll Picard easily. It's
Yeah.
not even close.
So no Janeway, no no Kirk, no nothing, just Picard.
Oh, Kirk's all right, but like in those instances, Kirk's like entire shtick is, I'm a man and I'm gonna say manly things, and then by force of will and plot armor, good things will happen to me. Also, I'm gonna try and bone every lady I see. Like, I don't know, and just like I do like the Kirk Spock dynamic where it's about like they do give each other something. Like his, he adds something where Spock's just cold logic doesn't always 100% get the best, whatever. So in that sense, I do like Kirk, but Picard like elevates every single line he's given. It's like watching a stage actor like do his thing. Like, I don't know, just like you take some of his lines from the Next Generation, and then like if you read them out loud yourself, you're just like, oh, this is awful. And then you watch him do it, it's like, oh wow, that was that was so good.
Yeah, you can tell his theater training, like it bleeds through, like everything he does. Like even when he was playing the King and Robin Hood Men in Tights, he was playing that character just so well.
Yeah, plus I love him in American Dad. He's really good there too.
He is so good there. That's great. So is it more about his acting, or like how he portrays himself as a captain as well? Like how do you feel about him on the show?
Yeah, he's strategic, right? He's got he's got his morals and principles. He's empathetic, and then he's got his I like the way that he can be forceful without being like yelly and just kind of like he has command without being obnoxious. I guess that's kind of the thing I think it works well for him.
Much like the space potato, so I can see why they get along really well.
Yes, exactly. He's got a round head. Bonus points for round head.
I love it. So what's your favorite Trek tech that you'd like to see in the real world?
Just replicator, obviously. Yeah, like you just whatever you need, you just create. Just give me some $100 bills. I'll go buy what I want.
But what if
money
money's
can
not
be exchanged for goods and services?
Yeah, that's true. What if money's like not like in Star Trek where it's like not important anymore? It's like,
okay, you can make things like you're hungry. You just make yourself. I mean, what other answer is there?
Oh,
I imagine like transporter.
Yeah,
but that's a distant second. Like you can go where I can go to 7-Eleven. If I don't have money, I can't buy anything.
That's true.
I'll still be poor.
Well, that makes sense to me. Yeah, transporter is what a lot of other people have picked as well. So most of the two popular ones are the replicator and the transporter. Some have picked.
I guess holodeck is the third.
Yeah. Well, we've got like.
What's yours?
We've got holodeck now with like VR and stuff. What's mine? I haven't really.
It's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's not the same. I haven't really thought about it, but yeah, replicator. Then infinite energy kind of. So
you could replicate yourself a transporter. You could replicate yourself a sonic shower, like whatever. Replicator's the one that just it's like wishing for more wishes is cheating.
Yeah, exactly. It's breaking the game. Like in Prodigy as well, like they're using like 3D printers and stuff to like make spaceships. So I guess that's like a form of replicator as well. So yeah, you could like replicate housing and
it's replicators all the way down.
Yeah.
You could replicate this podcast.
I think AI can do a good job of that as well. Dr. Ian Chef is a good AI generated like podcast for STFC blogs and stuff. So it's just really interesting hearing like AI just sit there and talk about patch nodes so much better than like anybody else can. It's just crazy.
Really? Does he just like feed the patch notes to Notebook LLM and then
I think so.
Do it as a style of a podcast? That's fun. That's a fun gimmick. I might steal something.
Oh, for sure. Like, love to hear the Mosh version of that as well. And you can like sit in there and ask questions as well. Be like, okay, tell me more about this.
I'll just be like, feature. Make it really sarcastic, flippant, and rude.
Perfect. I'll tune into that for sure. No, that's amazing. So, how did you find out about Star Trek Fleet Command? Like, how did you get into this world?
Like Stream Elements had a campaign, and like it had them all the time, and they always give you this like make $10,000 or whatever. Like, nobody ever. But I always I would just see the games and things that they would want you to play, and I'd be like, that's just a scam. That's a mobile gacha game or whatever. And I just ignore it. And also usually it's just mobile only. But I saw Star Trek and I'm like, oh, this is on PC and Star Trek. Fine. If I'm gonna do one of these sponsorships, I'll do Star Trek Fleet Command, right? Because I liked Star Trek always. And so I did, and then I kind of got sucked into it, just kept playing after like the 5 days was over. I was still like, because I'd be done with my day and I'd be just in bed with the iPad and going through the missions, and I liked the writing, and I was like, hey, I recognize those characters, and the writing was in the style of those characters, and it was true to the, and it was cool when you had like crossovers, like original series Spock and then like the Kelvin Spock were like interacting, and it was funny. Like it was just the kind of things that we enjoy. Nowadays I just always click through missions. I don't know, I'm jaded.
Yeah.
But when I first started, the missions were like actually relaxing to do. So I think that might have been what got me hooked. And then there's that feeling of progress, right? I played lots of MMOs. I played World of Warcraft a bunch. When I say lots of MMOs, I only played World of Warcraft actually, and EVE Online. I like space stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
So which is also why I laugh at people who complain about PvP and getting raided. I'm like, bro, just press that button. You can instantly teleport your base to anywhere in the galaxy. Like in EVE Online, if like you would have to actually physically transport all of your stuff and your ships and your cargo, and the whole way you're susceptible.
Yeah, wow.
People would have to plan for 6 months before moving bases. And that, like, you're mad because you didn't press shield or you didn't relocate your base. Just do it.
Yeah, well,
it's fine.
It's a lot more work doing that on EVE, it seems like. Yeah, you're right. You can like just see the system, transport. Oh, you're there now. So it's fine.
Yeah, instantly just moving across space and time. Like all of my ships and all my stuff are now somewhere else. Goodbye.
Yeah,
I don't know. It seems pretty OP to me. Like I don't know how they make it make sense in Star Trek, like logic, because like most everything else in the game kind of makes sense. Like you have warp distances and warp time, and like you have a station with docks and repairs and crews and everything. But then your base can just magically go whenever it wants to instantly with a relocation token. Like, what's the magic inside of this? Like, we need to investigate the reload token. It's the greatest source of power in the Trek universe, apparently. Better than it. You know what? That's what we want. Instead of, I changed my previous answer from replicators to relocation tokens because I could relocate to somewhere where they have a replicator and use theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the even more OP one is the token that you get below level 10, I think it is, or level 12, where you can just transport across universes. So that's even more. So yeah, you just bounce through and just ruin the world, I guess. Yeah, I reckon there's like a mini black hole in those relocation tokens or something. It has to be something super powerful to actually like transport you so quickly. But yeah, this game...
Yeah, that's the true source of power.
Yeah. This game has got its hooks in everybody. Like, I don't understand how it does it. Like, I watch a few of the ad streamers as well, and then a lot of them do transfer over to actually like playing the game and stuff. And it's just like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the other reason I think that I got into it is because I think there's, or at least this is my speculation as to why lots of people end up playing it. There's a whole generation of people who like MMOs but don't have the uninterrupted block of time. Like if you're playing WoW, for example, like you need to, like you're doing a dungeon with 5 other people, you gotta sit there for 15-30 minutes minimum, right? Like whereas this is kind of, you can asynchronously play with other people, which is cool, right? It's not like a D&D session where you're all sitting there like you can, you can do your stuff, they can do their stuff, and there's some stuff you got to do at the same time as other people, but even then, like you can take breaks and whatever anytime, and but you still have that feeling of progression and like grinding towards an objective and like getting stronger over time. And then also I think, at least the way I've described it, is in order to make it kind of necessary for you to purchase speed ups and packs and whatnot, since that's their business model, they've kind of tripped and fallen into an older school, like hardcore, like Ultima Online EverQuest type of thing, where you actually, it takes like 3 months to move up 10 ops, right? Like in WoW Classic, there are people who never got to level 60 or whatever, right? And I mean, none of that's, when I say, sorry, not Classic, in WoW Vanilla. In Classic, people just, eventually people figured out all the min-maxy things and ruined the fun of the game.
Yeah, that's...
But there is some beauty to like this stratification of people across different points of progress in the game.
Yeah.
And that the fact that it takes them a while, and like somebody who's played for 5 years is further ahead than someone who's played for 3 years. Like the fact that people played for years, like again, I don't think that was like some ingenious design. I think it's just a side effect of the monetization of the game. But I don't care, right? Like it doesn't matter how you got to the fun thing. If it's fun, now people enjoy it. So I think there's some part of that at play. And then finally, I think, there's the whole like you invest in something, right? It's like your Stardew Valley farm or whatever. Like you become attached to it, and then like you want to show it to other people and then compare with other people, and so it's like that. And once you've like invested in it, now you're just, most people just either go cold turkey and just quit, or they keep playing. I don't think you maintain updating your account without like being connected, constantly. Maybe people like minimize the time they spend, but like nobody takes like a month break and then plays for a month and then doesn't play for a month, which is something you can do with lots of other games, but it's not with this game.
No, the game moves so quickly, month on month, like with the new patches and stuff. If you're not playing like every day or every month, then you miss like 3 or 4 ops levels. It's insane. I think like the hook that it's got for me as well, like it's just the chill game as well. So you like on the way to bed or whatever, and then you're just like doing the clicks, and then get the dopamine coming in and like seeing all the pops. But the game, everyone's talking about it as well. It's like, even it's really funny, like you go on other people's streams and stuff, and then if they're part Star Trek Fleet Commander player, or they play the game but don't stream the game, they still talk about it. So like you'll pop in and then they'll be like, oh, what ups level you at, or how do you feel about this? And it's just like, it's a social game as well. Like the way they've designed it too, maybe unintentionally or intentionally, but there's so many talking points that you're like, oh, have you figured this out yet? Or how do you do this? Or what cool thing are you working on at the moment? So we're talking about, and
there's a lot of different paths that you can take, and there's strategies and decisions that have ramifications, sometimes like permanently, but also like there's just lots of different ways to do a thing, and it's not clear what is best, and people have different approaches, and that kind of shows. I think the game could have a bit more. I wish it had a bit more like exclusive choices where like you can go down this path or this path, so you can see like this guy did this thing and I went like he went Kirk, I went Spock, and that's a distinction. Like, but in general, everything in STFC converges, and we can all do all the same stuff. And your ship is the same as my ship at the same ops, at the same tier or whatever. I mean, like research and artifacts, I guess you kind of gives you, but it's never like going down path A blocks path B. It's just a question of which do you do first, which do you do second. But even that gives people something to discuss and compare and strategize about, which is interesting, I guess.
They did try doing segregated gameplay in the beginning. So the 10 million ops lock never existed. So it existed before people went to G4, and then when they went to G4, they took it away. And because people were triple faction locked at that time because they've been playing for a while, they started getting negative rep, and everyone was like up in arms about it. So Scoplay made the decision to go, okay, we're going to revert this now, and we're going to put in ops locks in the game, or not ops locks, reputation locks in the game, so that now everyone can progress. Yeah, because it was only intended to be one faction. Like you would always have negative factions and rep for the other 2 factions. So, but then because they didn't code fast enough to progress the game, players got to that lock. And because when you got to 10 million, I think it was a bug there or something where it would keep them there, so unintentionally. So people thought, okay, this is a natural locking point, and now I can do the other 2 factions. And then it took them 2 years to, it took them 2 years to fix that when they released Armadas and released G4. And then they were like, wait a minute, why am I getting negative rep now? Why am I going below the 10 million lock I had? So yeah, people were massively up in arms about it, and it changed the dynamic of the entire game.
Interesting. So how long have you been playing then?
So I never remember the first month, because like you can't find it in the like your app or whatever, but I'm pretty sure 2019. I don't know what part of 2019, whether early 2019 or late 2019. But yeah, like I was one of those people where they just fed me ads for like 3 weeks straight, and I was like, okay, fine. I was playing like the Pokemon Go at the time, and then I was playing like the what's it called, the Ghostbusters ripoff of Pokemon Go, and I was like, okay, these are a bit boring. So Star Trek came up, and it was like MMO, so I was like, wow, I can sink my teeth into this, like really get into the ins and outs, because I played WoW for a little bit too, not like super hardcore. I played it for a month, and then and then I was like, I need to quit because I was playing like
Oh, nice.
12, 14 hours a day, and wasn't sleeping properly. It wasn't good at the time.
Right.
And then this, and I was like, wow, this is. And then to keep talking, like got onto like people like Red Deuce and DJs who were the only like streamers at the time, and DJs doing a podcast. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. It took me like 6 months ish to find them, and then having that connection to be like, okay, what are they doing? How do I do this? And that's really kept me into the game. The other funny thing for you though, Mosh, is when you were playing Kingdom Come Deliverance and the Alliance tournaments were on, I was like, oh, Mosh is super into this game because you're like tabbing in, tabbing out, like, I got to claim that 10k task. Quick, I've got to get the Dominion Epic. I've got to get the Borg Epic. I was like, yes, go Mosh, you're into it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm a min-maxer at heart. And especially when it's a team effort kind of thing. Like, I'm not gonna post less than 30k a day if I can help it. Like, I would show up to raids. I ended up leading them and whatever. Like, if there's other people depend on me for something, I gotta be there. So, like, yeah, I'm gonna alt tab and get that task.
Yeah, for sure. You're a good leader, Mosh. Yeah, I really enjoy your streams and watching you play through the game as well, and how you interact with other people. How long have you been playing for?
Probably a year and a month now. I think it was like March of last year that I got my sponsorship campaign to start playing STFC. So
you're already so high ops. Like, what ups here now?
I think they've made it a lot easier since you played, right? And also, I mean, yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Like to ops 15 was just very fast, right? Like, to 20 is pretty quick, and then 20 to 25 it slowed down a bit, and then I slowed down from like the 25 to 29 area. Like, I was camping at 27, I was camping at 29. I was like learning about camping and what that, like, gotta win the leaderboards and whatnot. And I had a friend who like just didn't care and wasn't like told to camp, and he just kind of did stuff as soon as he could. And I compared, like, when he was in his 30s, I compared what I had with what he had. Like, yeah, I had like one officer that he didn't have, slightly more shards or whatever on 2, but he had all this other stuff and he was getting more. And I was like, this makes. So I just, like, I ended up getting to 35, and there was like an event store where I got my because I was doing good in the SLBs. I got my Voyager, my Defiant, my not Motivine, but like I got like 2 or 3 specialty ships, and then all the officers that I wanted. And I'm like, okay, there's all these efficiencies now that I wish I had when I was upgrading my ships 5 levels ago. Let me look through the research trees, and then there was like, oh, there's more at 38 and 39. And I went there, and then like it took me a while to figure out kind of the optimal way to do this game or whatever. But once you see it, like, you can really take advantage of the income from events. And then in my case, like, being able to, like, I was looking at the players ahead of me and behind me and picking my spots. Like, okay, that guy's, like, I would talk to them, like, hey, are you gonna level? Like, how long are you staying at 35? Like, all right, like, well, we got to divide up this bracket, right? I'll take this event, you take that event. Or like, hey, how many directives do you have? Okay, like, I have 200 more. I'll take first, you take second, and then we just don't waste time. So there was a lot of like that kind of min-maxing going on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To try and, I don't know, I had like a target, right? Like, I'm always gonna look for ways to get there. So I think that'll help. Plus, the resources out there are super helpful. Like, all of the spreadsheets from Lube's Discord, like, I have like 12 of them open at all times in my Crow. So that'll help for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's how, like, we get around having the limited stance or limited resources, is because we kind of already know what the optimal path is going into, like, say, solo waves or elite waves, for example, because we've got the help of the community around us. So, yeah. And what's your favorite STFC feature? Like, what do you love about the game specifically? Like, any specific ones? Or
probably PvP, because the combat mechanic is like, it takes a while. Like, there's a big blob of like nonsense if you're trying to first understand how combat works in the game, like piercing and triangle advantage, which plastered all over the place and doesn't actually mean all that much. But there's like the mitigation formula, and like the primary mitigation and the secondary mitigation. Like, that can all be so overwhelming that most people just never get past that. And so a lot of people don't actually understand how combat happens, right? Like, and as a result of that, don't understand which officers are good for what. Because everything comes from the first principle of like understanding like the sequence of events when two ships fight, and then like how the numbers are there's no random, right? In this game, it's like, I mean, there's a range for a weapon in terms of how much damage it does, but and there's a like roll for crit or not crit, but that's pretty much it. There's no like miss, there's no dodge, parry, deflect, there's none of that.
Yeah.
So once you understand the basics of how combat fundamentally works, and then you start looking at combat logs, you can start to understand how the game works, right? Like you can see through the matrix or whatever. And then once you have that, and you start looking at like using PvP crews and fighting and testing and like seeing what works and what, like you start to see holes in other people's like strategy, and then you're like, oh, well, this guy, like all his damage normal, he doesn't have any isolytic, or this guy's like all isolytic, and he neglected this or he neglected that, so I can actually take this crew on this ship and kill this guy that's like 5 times bigger than me, and he won't understand what happened, right? or just like to me, that's like the most fun is when you can use your game knowledge to kind of do something that you shouldn't be able to do, right? Like, oh wait, you're level 50 doing like wave 5 wave defense or whatever, like you know, that's what makes it fun, is when you feel like you're cheating. It's the same kind of itch that like I think a lot of people who play Path of Exile or like other ARPGs is like, when you find some combination of things that together work in a way that give you access to things you were probably not intended to be able to do, that's always the most fun to me.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel right, but you're like, this works. Like, why does this work? And because you know how it works, it's like, yep, do this, this, and this. And then when new content drops, you're ready because you understand the game and how it plays. And for me, like, battle logs were such a big block, because like, oh, how does this number work with that number? And then at some points they weren't working either. But I think, investing the time in trying to understand how the mechanics of the game work, like that really prepares you, and it really does help. And now you can see like on stfc.space all the different breakdowns of the hostiles you're fighting, or the armadas you're fighting, or like, does it have ISO defense, apex barrier, all these other things as well. That, okay, if this has this, then I crew for this, or I do this, or I take this ship. So yeah, it really is super helpful to understand that. But yeah, I love the fact that you're punching up and everything.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're like, so I was just talking like about why I like it, but if it's about like the people watching, like wanting to know, my advice would be, don't feel intimidated by all of this jargon. That like at its core, the combat is pretty straightforward. Like, stop by my stream. I'm happy to like walk you through like a couple of the logs, and I'll tell you what's happening. And once you like see what, it's actually not that complicated. You know, and for the most part, like officer abilities do what they say they do, and you can read them and then like understand why they're good or why they're bad, and then you won't have to consult like the spreadsheet or ask somebody what, like, you can make your own. And because not you might not have the same tier e-data as somebody else or whatever, like, or you might not have all the impulse speed they have from their fleet commanders, because you don't have those guys. So like, yeah, the game doesn't do a very good job of presenting the mechanics, but they're actually a lot simpler than they might appear. Like, there's a whole bunch of complexity to mitigation that you can just put in a bucket and be like, am I doing 71%? No, add more. Yes, I don't care anymore. Like, that's like it. You don't need to know about primary and stat and secondary and the complex math that goes into how they're calculated. And like, it's mitigation, isolytic defense, and apex barrier. It's like, once you understand those 3 things and how they actually impact your damage, then you can figure out all the rest.
Yeah, we've got apex shred now as well, which is another additional layer.
Not additional. It's just reducing their apex barrier. That's it. If you understand what apex barrier does, apex shred is just changing that number. So you're already good.
I like it. Like the more like variety of stuff they add, it builds like a chance to be different, and that's what I really like about all the different combat types and the different officers and different crews and all the other stuff as well. Yeah, like you said before, there's a lot of different things that you can do to like understand and get into the nitty gritty. But if you just learn like the basic things that you've talked about, then yeah, you can progress your game a lot quicker. It's not full cookie cutter anymore. Like before, it used to be when you had like just set research, set ships, set officers, and these were the best things in the game. And you had like triangle, and that was it. So in the mid-30s, it was like, okay, here's standard stuff. So it's very basic. And you could have cookie cutter. You could be like, okay, this crew is the best crew for this. This crew is the best crew for that. But now, like you said, like officer level, artifacts, research, ship types, because you've got all these specialty ships now that just do
Forbidden
so many
Tech, Chaos Tech.
Yeah, Forbidden Tech and Chaos Tech as well. And I'm so glad that's in the game. And I know a lot of Scopeplay employees have been talking about a gear system.
It feels to me more like we want to give more avenues of progression to players that require resources, so we can sell them the resources for those that are not patient, right? And it's like we want to have. It's not like officers are area, artifacts are another area, right? Now we got Forbidden Tech and Chaos Tech. Just different ways of increasing your ship's combat capability, right? Like it's all the same thing. Like it could just be another officer slot with it. Like below deck ended up being a different type of officer, right? So Forbidden Tech is really just another officer because you're assigning it to a ship that's on that ship. Except it's an officer with a cost of assignment, right? And resource and has like. So it's locked. So in that sense, it's interesting because it's a decision you're making when there's when it's a non-zero cost, like it's a notable cost. Okay, I'm gonna set up my fleet in this way. I think that's interesting because you're making a decision and you're committing to it. Even in MMOs, like where they had like the skill system and like you have your specialization or whatever, like while in the old days it was like, oh, you're a demonology warlock and that's what you do. Like nowadays it's all like everything's flexible. You can change it on the fly. You have multiple specs. You can switch between them. ARPG, same thing. You have multiple layer. Like it more becomes like, here is a bunch of stuff we're throwing at you. Players look at it and figure out builds or in this case crews and Forbidden Tech Chaos Stack to go on what ship for what purpose. And then once that's like figured out, that's just a template that you use. To me, it doesn't seem like a method of expression, right? Like the way that like gear in an MMO might be a bit like, and even then not really, because that's all been optimized and mapped out.
Yeah.
Because for whatever thing you're doing, it's like this thing is better than that thing. But it would be cool if they're like, but I just don't think that's this game anymore. Like I don't think STFC is a game where you express your personality through the choices of like Forbidden Tech or gear or officers. I think it's more about what you choose to spend your time improving. So like, hey, do I spend time like working on my mirror refinery? Like do I want to make sure I can do like the double pulls on the holodeck option, or do I want to instead make sure I have enough export credits to do the pull, like do I do favors or do I do officers? Like there's decisions and choices in terms of priority now, right? But I don't think it like you take your most important ship and your most important activity and you put the best ones for that activity on that ship and you're done. Like that's it, right? And then if you're really like a masochist, you switch them out every Monday for Arena.
You should 100% you should. I don't disagree with you with yes, this is a different way to monetize like content, because that's the game essentially. Is every month, if they want to continue the model, they will send something out to monetize, whether that's officers, a ship, or research, or favors, or anything like that. But I don't mind the way, because that's been consistent with them for the whole time they've had the games. I don't mind the way they do that, and they're giving a lot of free access now to month one stuff. So 1 month later, here you go, here's access to stuff that was previously paid for.
I absolutely have no problem with stuff being paid for a certain period of time and then free later. Like I think that's a perfectly reasonable model as long as people can get access to it at some point. Yeah, I don't have any issue with them monetizing that necessarily. My disagreement was more like, I don't know. Like sometimes when they're in these dev videos, they're talking about, oh, we were going to have a dynamic world where you feel your impact on the universe.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I'm like, no, you're not. Like that's an other game. Like this isn't Minecraft where I shape the world, right? Like you don't have the tech, you didn't build that game, and the people playing this game aren't. I mean, if you want to create emergent dynamic worlds, let the players do that through like focus on your territory system. Like have it so that like the territories could be zones. Like let alliances take over neutral zones and have there be resources that like, or there's an advantage to setting up a star base in a system that like they could do a lot with star bases. Like if star bases could be a place where I could dock my ship and repair and change crews, then the location of the Alliance star base would be a meaningful thing. And then like the facilities on the star base, like, you know what I mean? If they wanted to do that,
yeah,
they could. They already have the systems. And it's not going to be through invading entities that show up like 2 days out of every month. Like that's not the way to make a dynamic world.
No, I agree with literally everything you're saying. I know that their intentions when they do start is to be what you're saying, and then the time frame that they have to develop, which is like, I don't know, 3 months out or 6 months out of releasing content continuously. They've put themselves in such a
unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. Yeah. So then the massive really good ideas that they want, they can't do. And like I've come to accept that. It's like, okay, this is a pared down version of what it could have been. I hope when they do go back and revisit stuff, like they're revisiting away teams and scrapping and stuff for G5 to help with the new generation. I hope they do more revisiting to revival content like starbases. Like you said, like imagine if you put your starbase in a system, it provides a buff to, I don't know, to mining, or it changes the way that this happens, or like you can, I don't know, like do something super cool with it and have maybe starbase versus starbase fights, and there's a reason to be there with it, a reason to interact with it, making it fun, or creating a story. I really wish they did more.
I think a very core like device used in these kind of games to generate fun is you create some sort of friction, and then you give the players the ability to remove it for fun. So like again, to go back to World of Warcraft, just because it's a game that most people are familiar with, like you start out and you're just this like Tauren guy like running through the plains, and it's very slow, but like, I mean, you think you're going places, right? And then eventually at level 40 you would get your mount, and now you're like really going places. But like somebody at level 60 like runs past you in an epic mount, which is 100% instead of 60%, and you're just like, holy crap. Like it's all very slow nowadays. Flying mounts like 300 something percent. I don't know, I don't play WoW anymore. But like you made the world big, you made it required that I go from here to there. It takes a long time, and then you gave me a slightly faster way to do it, and that slightly faster way felt amazing. So like I already have to repair, I already have to change crews. Let me do it in a star base. In addition to my base, to my like home base, and suddenly like it's not it's not that complicated of a thing, right? It's just like it's all the same systems, just done slightly differently with a reduction in friction. Or they could release a new ship that was just like it's just a support ship that you can dock with and change crews on and repair. And then you could put your, like, it would essentially function as like a secondary base without all of the buildings. It would just be docks and officers and whatever. You don't have to like over engineer or rethink the wheel or whatever. There's a lot of little points of friction that you can give people some control and agency and improving. And then I think that stuff can be really fun too.
Yeah, and going completely into like, I know it's not going to happen, but like imagine if they had like a transwarp drive connection, like a system, or like with the Herogen, with the communication system they had across all the systems. Like with transwarp drive, imagine if you could set up, okay, I want these 4 systems to be my fast warp points, so then I can go bang here, bang there with the click of a button with all ships. Like imagine if they did something like that reduces the friction of movement and creates a dynamic choice for you to be like, okay, I want to grind here or grind there, so I'll make this easy for myself. Or just like having like a alliance network of something, or even cross alliance play where it's like, okay, we're friendlies with these people, so like, can we do things together? Can we get buffs together, or can we go fight like different alliances? So my issue with PvP as a whole, going on to this topic, is you don't get good rewards from it. So outside of arenas and stuff, if I'm just going to blow up your ship, I'll get at one chest with like, I don't know, 75 platinum or something. It's like, great, wow, that was so much fun. Like if they made it rewarding, or if there was like a good reason to do it, like if you chose an alliance and say, hey, I'm gonna start a war with you, then we've got a week to, I don't know, kill the most ships or get the most resources or do something like that. That's fun. That's dynamic. or for me, it would be fun, Mosh. So like then you can just
I get my fun from just like, you know, raffle stopping nerds. It's
we're different players for sure.
I get you.
Yeah.
Some of the like the rewards you get in the chests, like as I'm killing higher level players, I'm like, hey, that was actually a non-zero amount of stuff I got from that loot chest, right? Like, it was like a 2-hour speed up. Holy crap, that's the best thing I've ever gotten from a PvP chest. I don't know, I guess badges maybe at some point were supposed to come from those, but they don't. I know why. Like it's okay if they put rewards in it, people would just like spam realtas into each other and then like
Yeah, that's how we
farm
play.
the rewards, right?
Yeah.
But there's ways around that, and there's other things players could come up with to exploit it, and some of that is just constraints that they have to deal with. So I'm sympathetic to that. I do think that like they could improve the rewards for PvP. Like the amount of resources that you spend to just repair a ship that died, like you should at least get that back. But
Yeah.
you don't. Like when you get a kill, you know?
Yeah,
like
you
in EVE Online, when you kill a ship, you get half of their components.
Yeah, wow.
Like first of all, they lose the ship forever. That's how it works in EVE Online. So like imagine every time your ship died, it died. Like
how do you get it
yeah.
back?
And no. If your ship explodes, it has exploded. You gotta go build a new one.
What?
So it doesn't take like 6 months to build and max out an auger or whatever equivalent in EVE Online, but it does take resources to build it, and you have to build a new one. And ships don't get upgraded that much. I mean, ships have like module slots, and they have like 6 or whatever many modules you install, and you can do different stuff. But like they don't have 12 tiers for a ship or whatever. A ship usually has 1 tier, and there's like a different variant of a ship. I don't know. This is all like 10-year-old. Please don't hate at me in the comments. This is just from like what I played in 2012 or whatever. But okay, so when you lose your ship in EVE Online, it explodes. If your pilot ejects and warps away in time, then you don't lose any of your skills. Like think of your research essentially. Like, but if you die, you also lose your research since like the last save point that you had. Yes, so you would like lose not only your ship, and then when your ship explodes, like people can salvage the wreckage and get like half of your stuff. So like piracy is actually profitable.
Yeah.
There's an incentive to do it, and if you want to travel from like, you know, Zarak to Vin the Matrix, there's a Stargate that takes you from this system to that system. And when you go through the gate on the other side of it, there could be pirates waiting for you. So like you need intelligence, and you can't just like look at that system. Everything's like deep space. Like you can't see it unless you're there. So people would have like, when somebody was like transferring something valuable, they would have scout ships ahead. But then there's stealth that could be there, and then like so they have ways of looking for that too. But then there's like wormhole space where that doesn't even apply either. But like just a simple act of taking a ship from system A to system C, requiring you to go through system B first, means that system B is a bottleneck where people could be ambushing you. And so think of like the system right outside a token system could be such a bottleneck. So now before you leave the token system, people would have to like check it. They could do those things, right? But I don't know that this game has the appetite for that. But that's one way you could like one way to incentivize PvP would be just depending on the size and strength of the ship you destroy, have some loot in the chest that is commensurable to what you've just let me get some salvage. I think that like you could wake that in ways that aren't exploitable. I think that would kind of address what you're talking about. It would make it fun to attack. The flip side of that is, given how pay to win this game is, you know, then like the whales would just go around killing everybody, and then like nobody would be able to do anything because they'd be incentivized to.
Yeah.
Nobody can run armadas, and like if you're somebody who spent like 40 grand on this game, which there's tons of people like that,
even more,
you just like, I mean, nobody else could have any fun. So I don't know. These are not easy problems, I guess.
No, and the game's like been 6 years old now, and it started out as a completely different game. It's not the same game they intended to make, and like the architecture doesn't suit that. It doesn't fit with that. And I don't know if they were intending to be around this long, but I think when they got taken over, Digit got taken over by Scoplay, they're like, okay, we're going to keep the game going. So they go, okay, that changes our whole roadmap, our whole dynamics. So we've got to rethink, how do we make this game continue? What's the business model and all of those things as well. So that's why it's completely different. But I do like the idea of like revitalizing PvP, because like, it's fun. I enjoy it as well. And like, I'd like to do more meaningful things in the game.
When you said like the trans warp beams or whatever, like I was thinking of it could be fun if like an alliance could set up a super highway.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
super highway,
G5,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
And then but it requires funding, and have it so that it takes 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and whatever, so that like the little players can also feel like they're contributing or something. You know what I mean? Like I always enjoyed, like, again, I'm going back to WoW, but like with the AQ war effort or whatever, everybody could hand in different cloth.
Yeah.
And even if though, like as a lower level player, you weren't like gonna do as much as like a max level player, right? Because they could kill many mobs really fast. But it let those lower levels feel like they were doing something that was meaningful and contributed. And I think there's a lot of like lower level players that just like, oh, I can't do like solo waves. I can't do, like you guys are doing Zindies, or like they just feel like excluded, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I know CDP or Scopely wants them to just ops up already, but like
So
it's
does
not
CD
really
Projekt Red.
like.
They want them to ops up too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have one of my viewers like leveling an alt on my server, and he's 56 on his main, and he's 19 on his alt, and he's like struggling to get like he's like, I just need some like G3 ships, like I need to get there, but it's like kind of impossible. Like him knowing everything he knows, and having like being in the number one alliance on the server, and with all that knowledge and everything, it's still not like there's so many. Like I don't think the Scopely devs have played the game on a fresh account anytime recently. Like they have no idea what the curve is like they need to be doing that, like like maybe they can give themselves some sort of artificial boost in terms of like time or something, but like they need to go through the same process, even if it's like a 2 or 3x the speed, just so they can see all of the clicks and all of the dependencies that they have to like. So when they make comments about like, oh, we want people to get to G5, like, do you understand what that means?
Yeah. Well, and the knowledge that you need to get to be at that level as well. Like, you can't just be like, here's all the resources, and you automatically from 30 to 50. It's like, well, where's that 6 months or that 3 months in between we actually learn about the new mechanics you're playing with or the different things you're doing, and without overwhelming them and going, here's 15 new specialty ships that you now have 15 new loops to do. So good luck trying to work out which one to do from there. But I've watched like a lot of new players as well play the game, and they're like, there's a battle triangle, there's a store, there's an event store, there's missions, there's hostiles. Why is this hostile killing me and this one's not? Like, there needs to be such a better tutorial, even if it's like video based, or I know that people have tried to do that as well, but just to help them understand, like, to claim things, like how timers reset. And
Problem is it takes so long to get through the game that by the time
it's irrelevant.
You've played enough to like know a thing, you've forgotten what questions you had when you were level 19. So like I remember when I started out, I was watching Revduce videos, and they were not helping me. Like some of them did, but some of it didn't answer the questions that I had. So I don't even remember what questions they were anymore, or why his videos didn't answer. But I just remember thinking at the time, and like, man, there's no good content for my level of knowledge, which I have now forgotten. And I won't be able to make them either. But
no, I completely agree with that. And like people like Tacos in the community, like Tacos Chemtech as well. Like I think Tacos is like a level 20 or a level 19, and they're in like everyone's streams, just trying to pick up as much as they can. And I think players like that should definitely ask like a lot more questions and be like, okay, this is what I'm struggling with. Let us know, or let's go play Nose, so that the content can be more tailored towards helping those players too, because it's a massive curve. Like I've had 6 years to bypass it, but someone coming into the game fresh and wanting to play with their friends who are level 30 or level 25 or whatever, that's like a good 6 months. So to kind of help them condense that. And then going back to PvP, like the intent of armadas as well used to be that you were meant to fight for them. Like that,
what?
That was their
but there's
mechanic.
So many of them.
But that was their mechanic, right, Mosh? Like when they released armadas the first time, like it was coming soon for 2 years, so that's a whole different story, because I had it in games like coming soon. But when they released them, they were like, okay, you've got a 15-minute timer, because they wanted people to do PvP in armada space. So you'd start an armada, and they want other people to come and attack it to then claim the armada, or to stop you from doing your armada, which didn't work, and it's a bad mechanic. But that's what they intended. They intended it to be a space to fight for.
But that's eventually they released arenas.
yeah, exactly. I think that was probably the preconception.
Oh my god, that's the origin story of arenas. It only took them 5 years.
All right, so Mosh, like what server are you on? I know we've talked a lot of Star Trek already, but what server are you on? And is there any player that you wish was on your server with you?
I'm on server 703, and I wish Ryan MTG was on my server so I could lose some SLBs once in a while.
Is he not? I thought he was. Like I just see Ryan.
No, he's on like one of the older servers, like 56 or something, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I think you're
Taco's leveled an alt on my server, I think. So he's actually one of my viewers from Gwent. I think I got him into STFC. I'm not sure.
Well,
So I apologize in advance to him and his family.
He's so cool though. I like seeing tacos everywhere. So yeah,
He's fantastic.
really good community member for sure. So on the streaming side, Mosh, like how long have you been streaming for? So I could see at least 3 years, but has it been longer than that?
No, that sounds about right. About 3 years.
And why did you get into streaming? Like what drove you into Twitch and streaming and YouTube and stuff?
I was playing a lot of Gwent, and usually when I played Gwent, I would watch somebody else that was like playing it and streaming it. And then there was a certain time slot where there was like no one to watch.
Yeah, wow.
So one day I'm like, well, I'll just turn mine on, because I had streamed Diablo like a couple times just as like a screen share for people. Like I had met in game in Diablo 3, and they liked what I made some fun builds, and they were like, oh, how do you do that? And I wanted to show them, so I was just like, here, I'll just go live on Twitch, and you can just come look. So I had the accounts, and I had done it before, so I was comfortable. And so when there was like no one to watch playing Gwent, I went live, and then like 30-50 people showed up, and I was like, oh, okay. And then they bullied me into like getting a mic and turning on my webcam and stuff like that. So just kind of happened.
Yeah. Well, you're
It
so
was
charismatic.
fun. I love the interaction.
Yeah, you're so charismatic, and like that's I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that they did, because you're one of my favorite streamers to watch for sure. But they're good at that, aren't
Thank
they?
you.
Chat's always like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, hurry up and get this next, and it's like, okay, eventually, like I'll work on it. Just like give me time to understand like what I'm even doing in like OBS or like Twitch, just to begin with. So
It was fun. It let people be part of like when you have a trajectory. It's like people feel like they're part of a story. It really like enhances their experience. So like they're like, but then once we got to a place where I was like kind of plateauing, and then it wasn't like there wasn't like a goal to set like, hey, I'm gonna get like a third camera. Like it didn't make any sense, right? So they came to a point in terms of like the journey of the streaming that it ended, and then I kind of ran out of like I didn't know what to do from that point on. But in general, I think that's something I would say Scopely should really think about, is this idea of there's a story unfolding on each server, and that they should be worried less about being the center of that story and more about setting the stage for players to write that story. And they'll benefit. Like if you give us fun things to compete with each other on and like collaborate with each other on, people will get so invested in that, and and Scopely will benefit. You don't have to just make money off of like creating new bottlenecks that then you charge people for, and then you encourage them to do or incentivize them to do through events and rewards. Like you can also like during the last war we had on my server, I know for a fact people spent a bunch of money because they wanted to like kill each other so bad that they're like, oh, like that guy killed me, I'm gonna go upgrade my ship. Like so much, like the power level of those two alliances like rose in a like I was watching it happen. Like I would see like, oh, you didn't used to have that forbidden tech, now you do. Interesting. Like, wow, you've been like 50 for so long, now you're 56. Like, so and it doesn't just have to be PvP and zero sum things. It can also be like more fun alliance leaderboard events, like events that are not just like who's bought the most $99 packets. People come together and like make an effort and find a way to do. Like there was one event a long time ago, I was in my like ops 30 or 20 something, where it was about crit damage. And I just remembered that like me and another player in our bracket, like for my alliance, were doing well in our bracket, and then these other guys were in a better alliance and they had more armadas, and they figured out that it wasn't just like regular armadas but also exchange armadas, and they had lots of exchange armada directives because they were a bigger alliance than ours. And they were like just racking up points because they were just doing them all day. Like for 10 hours, they were just doing exchange armadas. And then one of our guys like remembered that he has a bunch of Borg, those level 25 armadas. He had a bunch of Borg armadas, and because Vidars have a multiplier, like we could really drive our score up if it was just the two of us. So people would start their armada and just me and him would join, because the whole alliance was trying to help like the two of us. None of it mattered. Like the rewards weren't that good, but it was like the spirit of the it was about bragging rights.
Yeah,
I mean, there has to be some good reward so you feel like it's worth doing, but like it's not the only motivation. And there's a lot more stuff they could do with that. Like you could have a relay race that requires using envoys to pass cargo from this system to another system, but each player can only move at one system. Or I don't know. Like come up with stuff, right?
They did have the race mosh. I don't know if you're aware, but it was impulse speed race in the system. So there was an event for who moved the most in the system. So you'd have like 2 minutes for a race, and then you'd click your ship here, you click it there, and then you get impulse distance. Then you go over here, impulse distance, and they had like a checker flag like avatar to kind of commemorate that. Yeah, and the first, second, and third. It was fun, but they set them up to be at like reset. So for APAC, the race was like 2 a.m. So they have to like stay up and like be really bad for work the next morning. But it was a cool idea. But I really take your point with the leaderboards, because there was one like leaderboard event that had an avatar. It was like a 7-day meta where you would just be competing against other alliances, and at the end the avatar was the #1 frame, and they haven't re-released that one yet. So the whole alliance got the #1 frame. So we competed savagely for that. We did everything we could, and I'm super proud of it. I still have it as my frame today, just being that #1 alliance, because like we spent our time doing it, and it was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Give us more of that stuff. And you could have it involve some sort of like, I'm sure, I know Rev Deuce has said this a lot. Like make the thing fun, and if people are having fun, they'll spend more. There's lots of ways to do that. Just use a little imagination. And you will make more money. That's my advice to Scopely.
It's good advice. Yeah, because I think the sentiment now is like, oh, we've had a new loop, we've had a new ship, and it's like, okay, I've got to spend more to progress, or I've got to do this to that, and it's kind of really negative. And I'm just like, well, the game's really fun. Like I hope.
Look at the comments on every new video. I think comments are always like overly negative, but it's like it's an immediate visceral reaction. Oh yeah, another ship I have to buy. Another loop, another thing I can only do with that thing, like that I need. Like we just like the Revenant was the only way to do those armadas, and now we got Elite Waves, where I don't know if you need the new ship or not, but the events certainly require it. So I don't know. Just
you need a really high tiered ship, so you need to get it to, depending on your ops level, to buy 7 or 8 packs to actually have it useful for the event. Griffin on DJ's show maxed it. He's got a tier 15. GS31 ship now, and then he can do the elite solos now. So Moshcraft, where does Moshcraft come from? What is Moshcraft? What is space potato? What is it? Tell me what it is.
So my friends in high school just called me Mosh, and then my like online username, because I was an edgy 19-year-old, was like the Mosh, because I was significant.
Yeah.
And then it became like the Moosh, and then all sorts of variations of that. But I was the Mosh in Age of Empires 3. I played a bunch of that with. Yeah, I played that somewhat competitively actually. Like I was in a RTS League 3v3 championship team.
Yeah, wow.
I was the shot caller for that team. Well, like one season, and I was probably the weakest mechanically player, but that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was so Mosh has just been like, and then it was I played World of Warcraft and Starcraft and Warcraft, and Moshcraft made sense.
I rolls off the tongue.
That's all. Yeah, there you go. And then Space Potato is just we had a channel point reward to summon Mosh Potato, and then when I play STFC, it's because I would usually play it like it would be my second stream of the day. It would be like what I'm doing to unwind, and I just want to like turn down the lights and everything. So putting on the filter so I could just be a potato, and it kind of became Space Potato.
Yeah, why the potato? Like, did you have choices?
I mean, it's a potato. I mean, do you need a reason?
No, you don't. But like, did you have choices so much? Like, did you have like a cucumber, or there he is? Yeah, we can potato from now on. That's so cool. did you have choices?
There's other stuff, but potato seems my speed.
Yeah. And I've noticed like you've been potatoing in Gwent a lot recently as well, which is quite cool. It's good to mix it up too and have different stuff. So yeah.
At one point we had Grandpa Turtle as well, but so the app that I used to do like the filters got discontinued by the company that. Yeah. So what I'm using now is like a third-party recreation of that, like an open source whatever, and it doesn't have Grandpa Turtle, unfortunately. But Grandpa Turtle had a really freaky deck, and he had a whole persona. There was it had a backstory and everything. he was the most boomer turtle you'd ever met. But anyway, you have there's different potatoes. Sometimes they come out, but this gamer potato is my default.
It's cool.
You'll have to watch the stream to get some of the other members of the potato gang.
Yeah, I've seen a few different. Yeah, you've got to check Mosh out at Twitch TV/Moshcraft for sure. You stream basically every day too, which is cool. And you do a lot of stuff. So your primary is Gwent, but like you're still writing. Like Star Trek is building up. Like your community is coming in there for sure. And speaking of like your streams and stuff, have your goals changed now? Like from when you started out streaming to now?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's more just I really like the community we've built. Like lots of people have their own emotes, and it's like people. It's like at one point I was gonna stop streaming, and like the community got together and they like supported so much that I kind of just had to keep going, because it's just a place for us to come hang out and talk, and like we try to be better gamers together. So like that's like, I guess if there's any theme to it, it's like, hey, let's help each other like be better, because that's as a fun thing. I guess it is really like humbling to that other people want to just come watch you play a video game. You know, it's like, hey, I'm just doing this because it's fun, and it's a lot more fun when you're with me and we can hang out and talk and interact. And like, I think we're all like blessed that this technology exists, right?
Yeah.
To kind of go with the theme of Star Trek, like I'm so sick and tired of like dystopian science fiction. Like the story of science and technology throughout humanity it's made everything better on the long enough time scale. Like all the metrics are better. So can we just like focus on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Optimism is good, and yeah, like why not? There's always downsides to things, but yeah, we're generally making things better, and the connection through Twitch as well. Like just being able to talk about your favorite game, or just being able to like chat to people and be like, I share this interest with you. Like how cool is that? Like I never would have met you in person or like online or whatever if you weren't streaming. I'd be like, no, I never knew.
There's not a lot of potatoes at the mall.
No, no, there's not. Yeah, and yeah, you've got to stay away from the food court there. I know quite a few people try to like.
Yeah. Tough subject.
Yeah, they do have a lot of recipes that are potato based, but no, it's not really good, is it?
Let's change the subject, please.
For sure.
This was not in the list of topics of discussion when I signed up for this interview.
Yeah, no, for sure. So
you'll be hearing from my agent.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And it's toe beans.
I'll prep for the lawsuit that's gonna come out. That'll keep you streaming for a bit, which is good. Do you have any past experience like presenting content or public speaking, or was it through basically what you said, whereas you were streaming for other people before, and then you just bang into Twitch?
I mean, I've done a bunch of consulting, and it's like I know how to put together a PowerPoint and lead a call or whatever, but it's different. Like Twitch is different, but it's fun. Like I was usually not I was always the guy backstage, like in like I guess in high school, whatever. Like I would help with production of like theater stuff or music stuff. Like I don't like being like up there. I'd like to be the guy who like comes up with the thing and then other people perform it. But Twitch is kind of a solo operation. But of course, there's like mods and chat and we interact and whatnot. It is it kind of feeds that like instant like reaction, and you can see live if something is working or not, and it in a way that like a lot of like video conferencing software could learn some things from Twitch chat and the emotes. Like I have a much better feel for how something is going in Twitch chat sometimes than I would on a call where like lots of other people where I can see their faces even. So I don't know, but no, I don't have like necessarily any experience. I just like hanging out with people playing video games.
Yeah, you've got some of the best emotes on your stream as well. The microwave 3G, hey, just even saying hello is good. It's hello there.
Yeah, I had some talented mods who like a lot of CS guys just like hung out in my stream, and then one of them was like doing like little experiments on social engineering and like what he can do with commands and what gets adopted and what doesn't get adopted, and there's lots of like meta things you can do, and you know it's always cool to see what everybody does with their channel. And that's part of maybe why I haven't expanded too much to YouTube yet, is because like you do all that offline and then you post it. Whereas like the Twitch, it's live, and for me, like I feed off of that. I don't know. I do need to get better at the YouTube side, and your content certainly an inspiration for that.
Thank you. But the feedback, like I love the instant feedback, and that really works with my brain as well. So like I'm an ADHDer too, so like it's just like feedback is good. Like,
MorDHD. I get it now.
Yeah. So my name is my gaming name is basically Marias was my gaming name from whenever. That's what I first called myself in the game, and then ADHD. So I'm like, how do I combine it? It's like MorDHD. And a lot of people started calling me like Morty now, which is like nice. It's like a little nickname on the nickname.
Oh, like Rick and Morty?
Yeah, well, I don't know like Rick and Morty, but it's like, yeah, or people are like, did you play Mordhound? It's like, not really, but I do like that style of game. And then DJs was calling me like more dead for like a long time. So it's like, oh, he's supposed to be more dead. And it's like, okay, cool, I guess. It'll be different things to different people.
I always thought it was like Mord, but in high definition, you know? Like,
yeah, that's it. MorDHD, yeah. For sure.
Because like there was like HD StarCraft, and it was like one of the first content creators I watched. Like back when HD was all like the rage.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite hobbies, Mosh? Like, what do you like to do outside of gaming? Because I know we've talked a lot of games already, but what else do you like to do?
Movies and TV shows, board games, card games. I used to play lots of poker.
Oh, yeah? Professionally as well, or?
Well, just like in college to pay the bills, that kind of thing. But not like, and like at home online poker, whatever. But not like, I didn't do any like tournaments or whatever. I wasn't in any circuits, that kind of stuff. But it's a really fun game because it's like math and psychology, right?
Yeah.
I like puzzles that don't have a straightforward spreadsheet answer. Basically, that's my jam. So anything that can like stimulate that, anything that involves like strategy or like there's a lot like where there's some freedom in how you approach it, but there is like goals or things you want to optimize for. I enjoy those.
And what about with the board games? Like, what board games do you enjoy the most? Like, what are you playing?
So these board games have gotten so advanced, but like my day was like Risk and Monopoly. Yeah. Like those are the board games that I came up with.
Fair enough.
Never like, yeah, like I know, like I've probably played Settlers of Catan and forgotten, like just with friends and stuff. Like you learn a board game, you play it, but like it was more just like I played lots of Monopoly as a kid. Like it was my favorite game. Like before I could read, I knew all the cards, and people would try to cheat me. And they like just draw a community chess card and be like, okay, it says you have to pay me 50. I'm like, no, it doesn't. That says, and I would just tell them word for word what it says because I had played it so much.
Oh, that's so cool. What piece did you play? What was your Monopoly piece? Did you have a specific one or like?
Yeah, the car, obviously.
Oh, the car. Okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, the boat was okay, but it was usually the car.
Yeah, fair. I know you play like a lot of other games.
Who were you? You were like probably the thumbtack. You seem like a thumbtack kind of guy.
Whenever we played Monopoly, like we'd never finish a game. Like in my family, it either end in tears or like the board would be flipped, or we'd never actually.
No, that's actually like standard. That's pretty sure it says that on the back of the box.
Yeah, ruins friendships, ruins families. It's great. No, but like we've never completed a game. I guess like we just don't play it properly or whatever. But because it was one day we had like 12 hours we played it for. It's too.
Oh, every game gets to a point where it's not fun for anyone other than one person to play, and at that point nobody wants to play. Like the incentives make it so that the game just doesn't end. Nobody like goes through the motions of like, all right, I'm gonna like keep working in this feudal society where I have no chance of ever acquiring wealth, and all I do is pay rent until my financial wealth goes down to zero and I go bankrupt. And like nobody wants to go through that. Like once that happens, once somebody's got like Boardwalk Park Place and the green one, like they're just sitting there. Like there's
just call it then.
Yeah, there's the rare snowflake of a game where it's like somebody has like 3 of the medium tier ones, and somebody has like Boardwalk and like the 2 cheap ones, and then somebody has like Marvin Gardens and like I keep forgetting what the green one is, but the one next to Boardwalk, like that game, like where there's like a 3 power like diamond, or like, where there's like 3 different poles or 2 poles, and those games go in an infinite loop. So those also don't end, but like, there is a state of somewhat equilibrium where, and then because of like the position of stuff on the board and the fact that you start at a certain place, like somebody has an advantage, and unless but the luck can change that, right? So there are those games where it's exciting and then there is a finish because you landed on this thing, now you have to sell, and then you're in a bankruptcy spiral, right? But in general, most games, in my experience, end before they even get going because somebody gets mad about somebody else doing a terrible trade. and giving somebody something that's going to end be bad for all of us, but they do it anyway because they're friends or because they don't know any better, or somebody gets into a strong enough position nobody else wants to play. That's Monopoly.
Yep, that makes sense to me. And I know I've seen you play Heroes of the Storm now as well, Mosh. Like, I've been playing Heroes of the Storm for years too. It's like one of my favorite MOBA games. So I played that with my cousins and stuff. Have you been playing that long, or?
Yeah, it was like the first MOBA I played.
Yeah.
I played with a bunch of my friends from WoW, and then it's fun. Like, it's got the Blizzard characters, and honestly, I think it was an underrated game from a strategy standpoint, because there's a lot of like cool ways you can win that don't involve just like winning a 5v5, and there's asymmetrical warfare, and there's like innovative strategies that are really map dependent. Like the whole maps thing is I think such a cool innovation in the genre. The problem is none of that stuff comes out in anything other than 5v5, and that's like, and even then, like, for it to work, you would have to be on equal mechanical skill or within the same like league mechanically, like 5 people on both sides, and then maybe your strategies, and then there's like drafting, and it just gets a little too complex for the vast majority of people to be able to enjoy. It has such a high barrier to entry before you get to that promised land of like, strategy and creativity actually like matters. And it's like 99% of your games, it's like, just don't feed, like, and then that's who wins. And so it ends up being like adversarial and not as fun. But it's a kind of like, because there's infinite room for improvement, it's the kind of game that I can play where I can just be like, like to a certain amount without getting like frustrated, because it's like I can just focus on what I did and what I can do better, and that's it, right? And some games you make an impact and it feels good. You're like, I got a kill, or I did the thing, or I screwed up, and then that gives you something to work on. So.
And
what about you? Like, what's your favorite hero in HOTS?
Butcher, 100% the Butcher. Like, I locked onto the Butcher, nice. And I've been playing Butcher like for years and years now. Like, I'm okay at him. I'm not the best, like, obviously MOBA player, but it's so fun because it's like, okay, when you win, you start winning more, and then you can like sometimes like 2 or 3v1 and come out on top if you've got enough.
When your healing is just like scaling up and people think they can kill you, and you're like, no, I have rage. I got Mark, and then you're all silence and tied to a pole.
Chuck the silence trap, do the charge, get the stun off, do another charge, and you combo with like characters that also have stun, so you can get your healing back. So you're on out for a bit, get your healing again, come back, charge again, chase him down. Like, Cursed Hollow with Butcher is so much fun because it's like, okay, you guys are going for the point. It's such a wide map as well, so you've got room to like charge in and like do secret fights and stuff, and But with
I play
who do you play?
A lot of Falstad, and whenever I see a Butcher, I basically babysit them. I just go with them everywhere, and like, because in that early stages, like Butcher like needs some follow-up, like needs someone to get people low, and then needs someone to help finish. And Falstad can kind of do both of those things, and he has the mobility to like dive in with Butcher or go in with Butcher and then dive out, and like the fact that he has a snare, so it, and then like if you're good with your Lamb to the Slaughter, I usually go Hinterlands last and just combo it, because it's a snowbally hero, so I try to help add some snow to the ball.
Yeah, because it's like a 0.5 hero until you stack. Once you stack, he's a 1.5. So you've kind of like trade early game for late game victory. Falstad's so annoying to play against because he's got the range and he's got the mobility. For a Butcher, it's just like, you're just going to pick me off. It's like really hard to get away because you can't
or just
escape.
Gust you when you actually land your ult.
Yeah, that's right. It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. That's so short. I'd love to play with you
jam.
sometime. I'd love to play with you sometime. I know time zones are a bit
sure, man. Yeah, add me on Beat It. Let's go. Let's go right
cool.
now.
That's so cool. That's amazing. Cursed Hollow and Blackheart's Bay. Blackheart's Bay is what you're talking about, dynamic gameplay with the coins. Like, as Butcher, like being a camp farmer, basically I just go around and just farm all the coins and then turn in when they're trying to do a 4v5 and then like turn in again when that finishes. So I don't even go tackle the bases in, in Blackheart's Bay anymore. I just
Oh yeah, like
coin farm it.
in competitive play, like if you see Blackheart's Bay, it's like almost always like one team gets ahead and then they just never fight. They just keep doing camps and turn-ins, and like the other team never has a chance to catch up.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
On like ladder or I don't even know if it's in Storm League rotation, but on like in quick match, it's just a complete fiesta. and you can have like it's so fun that when you die, somebody else can get your coins, because that can create all sorts of like mayhem and craziness. But in all the like, because I watched a lot of like esports as well, and like in those games, it just seemed like if people know how to play the map, it's like tic-tac-toe, except like, you know, like, well, once I get an advantage, it's over. So I don't enjoy it as much in that sense, but I do like doing the stacking thing that you said, like you like to do with Butcher. I do it with Nazeebo and like Asmodan.
Yeah.
It's because like quick match or whatever is just a fiesta anyway, and usually the enemy team will throw.
Yep.
And all you have to do is like be ready to punish them when they do. And like those are two heroes that like if they don't end the game before 20, you can kind of win the game. Like Tuma the Spider Queen with Asmodan, like they can never push.
Yep.
Like they just get spiders die. Like because you get waves and you get so many stacks. And then if they don't have a healer, like good luck. Dunks from everywhere. It's just I don't know. Like I said, I like to cheat. I like to put myself in unfair, advantageous positions, and
well, the game lets you.
Sounds
do
like
that.
you do as well.
Yeah, the game lets you do that. So like, if you can do it in a way that's fun, like why not? Like, it's not a bug or it's not broken. It's intended for you to be able to get to that level. So, and that's just the way you play it. So why not?
That's why MOBAs should be done in small doses.
Oh yeah.
Because being on the receiving end of that isn't very pleasant, right?
No, it's not. And yeah, I've lost lots of games. Trust me, like the hardest part for me and the team that I play with is maintaining morale when you're down. But we've done it before where it's like, okay, people start arguing and yelling and stuff. It's like, okay, we'll just focus on the objective. Okay, we'll move to this point now. But when you get down to like your core base and then somehow you fend them off and you win the team fight there in like 30-minute games, and then you just spam because they're down for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, you just be stepping all over their base.
That's right, and you win. It's like that's so much fun. It's like coming out of nowhere, like losing the whole game and then turning it around and just be like, nah, we showed you. Like
yes, and HOTS has the best game direction of any MOBA, and it's got the best comeback mechanics of any MOBA.
100%.
And it's in general a better community than the other two MOBAs. I think it's not perfect, but it's not as bad, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
A ringing endorsement from Potato.
Yeah. Well, I'll take that to the bank. It's a good endorsement. So, Mosh,
Yes.
any words of wisdom that you live by? Like, how do you live your life, and how have you found ways to live it better and things like that?
Oh man, I don't know. I remember looking through the questions and I saw that one. I was like, what am I gonna? I'll think of something. Was the plan? Because all the other questions, I was like, oh, I know what to say for those. But I don't know. I guess what I'll say is advice I wish I could give myself, because I don't know that I have words of wisdom for anyone else. But it's don't take for granted the time that you have. Like, you think you have more time, you think you can make those decisions later, and you do until you don't. Kind of like there was a period where I like maybe decided stuff too soon, and then like there was a period where I just like didn't, and I just kind of let the waves carry me. And there's probably somewhere in a happy medium where like you're not going to control your life. You don't get to decide what path you go. You need to be open to opportunities, but at the same time, you should also be trying to actively like work towards some sort of like short, medium term goal without letting that, you know, those goals ruin like the good things in life. But like don't also just don't let life happen to you, I guess is what I would tell myself. I don't know if that made any sense.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So be active in the decision making, but don't let your decisions and control like the life around you, and still find happiness and the balance between the both.
It's very hard to like identify what if you have my kind of personality where like you see like inefficiencies or whatever, and like you want to use everything at your disposal, like if you're a min-maxer type, you want to use everything at your disposal to like better your chances or your situation, right? Sometimes you can get focused on some certain things and get worked up over, like, don't sweat the small stuff. You can really miss some important things by just focusing too much on like your plan or the mechanics of how like you think you're gonna succeed or whatever, and you kind of blink and then you realize like a bunch of other things have passed that you wish you hadn't neglected, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think happiness is a really hard thing to kind of bed down, and like sometimes you're like, oh, like I was happy then. It's like, oh, I didn't realize I was until it wasn't. And like respect into self-reflection, I feel is a really good practice, just to have a think about like, oh, how did these things happen, and why did these things change the way they did. But at the other point as well, it's like, okay, that's the past now, and you've got the rest of your life to live the way you want. So that's why they call it the present as well. Like it's a present to be alive in the morning and wake up, so we can still do things with the day too. So yeah, very real conversation.
Yeah, I've nothing to add to that.
No, that's fair. So Mosh, I've really enjoyed my time with you today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself too.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Let's plug some of your stuff. Do you want to tell us on the bottom of the screen there, like some of your stuff, or are you happy for me to go through it?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. As you see, I post Gwent videos there. I have a Twitch channel where I play Gwent, Star Trek Fleet Command, but also like I played some Cyberpunk. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance. I play some Brotato, which is a game where you play as a potato for obvious reasons. And I play some HOTS as you mentioned, but I played a lot of RTS back when I was younger, so like I always have a soft spot for those. I've been thinking about doing some Total War soon.
Oh, yeah?
So Total War 3 Kingdoms or Total War Rome with DI mod. I don't know, if you like that kind of stuff, just stop by sometime.
And you got your Twitter as well. Like, what do you post on Twitter normally, Mosh? Is it more a Twitter for you, or?
Yeah, Twitter's just like kind of gone downhill, so I've stopped using it mostly. But whenever there's some sort of event that, like whenever there's a new Gwent patch and people want to know my reaction, I usually post it there. But it's rare. It's usually like, if you want to keep in touch with me, Discord is probably the best way. That's the most active.
Oh, that's the one I didn't include there. I should have included. Maybe I'll add it later.
Just type exclamation Discord in my Twitch chat. Like, on my Twitch chat, there's a lot of commands for whatever you need. Just think of the word, type it as probably a command, so people can just.
Yeah, that's
that.
it.
There you go.
No, that's great. And your Instagram with derp.craft for good old derp in the background screen there. So
yes.
Yeah, really cute pictures, and yeah, you keep that up to date quite nicely. And you're threadless, like
there's other people who are like send me pictures like, oh, put this on his Insta.
of your cat. Nice. They manage it for you.
Yeah,
Good.
Other people take pictures of my cat. They're like, because they know he's got an Instagram. They're like, hey, and they send it to me.
Oh, amazing.
He's got a lot of personality. I wish you could meet him. He's a very specific cat. He's the most specific cat I've ever met.
Yeah, well, that's probably why you bond so well with him as well, I guess. And you're threadless there. I know you haven't really updated that much, but the Nine Cat...
Yeah, there's some like Derp merchandise.
Yeah,
there's some mugs and some mouse pads and whatnot. So yeah.
Are we gonna get a version 2 with some potato Derp merch, or?
I've got some like capybaras dancing on a planet in the style of a Vincent Van Gogh painting merch coming up. So,
ooh, cool.
And some like some Kingdom Come Deliverance themed stuff where it's like there's a sigil of House Derp. And you can have that crest, of a House Derp on your T-shirt. So that's in the works.
I'm still waiting for you to go back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, like the Twitch clip said, and do that DLC content about the driver of the carriage. And did you actually go back and do that, or?
Oh no, I never murdered him. But I do. I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 now.
Yes.
So I want to get like through that story, and then I'm going back to KCD2, and I'm going to do a new playthrough. I haven't decided what my challenge is going to be.
Ooh, okay.
I thought about like an entire like shirtless Henry playthrough, or like a neutral good, or what's the a chaotic good run
chaotic
where
good.
I like where I like knowing what I know about who's gonna be on my side, and like knowing all the spoilers that I'm not gonna say, like what would I do with that knowledge now, having played? Like if I know that that guy is gonna do this thing, what do I like? What can I do now to him? You know, when I think he's on my side or whatever. So just some ideas there. We'll see, I guess. If you have any good ideas for a challenge run, I'm down. KCD2 is like the mechanics of the game are smooth and polished enough where I can enjoy like loading a save or like retrying a thing, that I'm down to do some like pretty challenging stuff. Like going through the entire game naked, possibly, or whatever.
Well, that's why I tuned in. I was like, oh wow, like you're actually gonna go try to like take out all these guys in the town just so you can see what's in this guy's pack, or like going, okay, you don't like this guy, so you're gonna like start a fight with everybody, then reload the save after. Like you just try to like see what happens, and that's what I love about those style games as well. Is like something different will happen, especially with KCD2. There's like multiple different things, multiple different paths that change the game completely. So you go and try to see those things.
Oh, for sure. They put so much. Like I played 105 hours. I think I've seen half the content.
Yeah, wow.
I legit think there's like, because I haven't explored all the paths and all the like. I just, you know, not just like missions and side things that I missed, but like there's lots of different options, and different playthrough is gonna feel completely different. Somebody who watched like the first major event said that their experience of it was completely different from mine. When they were watching it. So it's one of those games that's like, because it's got such good writing and good story, it's fun to watch someone else play it, but it's even more fun if you've played it and you watch somebody else, because you're like, oh, what is he gonna do? And what do they do different? And like, I watch other people play it now.
Yeah, that's cool.
When I can.
Yeah. Team Elderblood, do you want to talk a bit about that as well, or is that something that's
That was just the Gwent organization I'm a part of. It used to be, so back when Gwent had official like esports tournaments.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that's the team I was in. I was as a content creator, but like I used to like talk a lot and like help with the meta reports and things like that. They're a good bunch, but I think the esports organization is gone now. So it's
fair enough.
Yeah, I should probably update my page.
It's a point. It's a point in time, so there's a bit of history there.
Yeah, currently I'm Team Potato.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you again, Mosh. Like, really have appreciated you sitting down to talk to me. I could talk to you for hours. This has been super fun.